All right, take a look at this thing. How would you describe it in English? If you had to choose one word to describe this thing, which word would you pick? Well, I'm going to give you a few seconds to think about it, and I'm going to tell you what this thing is called in English. Okay, this is called a dead cat. A dead cat, okay? It's something used in the world of video making to protect the microphone from the wind. Have you ever been watching a YouTube video and you can hear that nasty wind noise? You know, wind is just a terrible thing for video makers. It just destroys the audio quality in a video. And that's not good because audio is just as important, if not more important, than video quality. So, you know, if you have a YouTube channel like I do here, it's really important to have good audio, or people won't watch your videos. So anyway, this is called a dead cat, but you could use other words for it. You could call it a wind screen, or a wind shield, or a wind muff, or a wind protector. You could describe it in different ways. You know, a muff. You know what a muff is? You know, sometimes in winter people wear ear muffs, right? Like that. It's sort of the same idea, right? You're protecting your ears from the cold wind. Well, you know, your microphone has feelings too. You need to protect your microphone from the cold wind as well. Okay, so let's get back to describing this. Did you think of a word to describe it? Well, someone recently asked me in the comments, they asked me a good question. The question was, Mark, what's the difference between fluffy, furry, and fuzzy? That's a good question, right? That's a very good question. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the differences between those three F words, furry, fluffy, and fuzzy. And I'm going to teach you another F word, but not the bad F word. I'll have to save that for a different video. But in this lesson, I'm going to teach you about 4 F words. Okay, so the simple answer is those words are very similar, and you could use each of those to describe this thing. You could say this is fluffy, you could say it's furry, or you could say it's fuzzy. Okay, it's fuzzy. So each of those could be possible in this situation and a lot of other situations, but there are some small differences between those words, and I want to explore those differences. Now, you know that those 3 words are adjectives, right? Adjectives. If something is fluffy, furry, fuzzy, it's a way to describe a noun, right? In this case, the noun is a dead cat, right? Or a microphone cover. But let's just think about the root words of those 3 words. Fluffy, furry, and fuzzy. What are the root words? The root words are fluff, fur, and fuzz. So what is fluff? Let's think about that. Do you know what fluff is? When we use the word fluff, we're talking about something light and soft. Okay, so we're talking about the composition, something that is light. For example, look at this pillow. Okay, this pillow is light. It's not heavy, it's very light, and it's soft, right? So we can use the word fluff to talk about this. Inside this pillow, there is fluff. Okay, I don't know what the fluff is. It might be feathers, it might be cotton, it might be something else, but I could describe that as fluff. Okay, so I could say this pillow is fluffy. It's fluffy. Now, sometimes pillows sort of get flat and hard, right? And then you need to fluff them up. You need to fluff them up. Okay, so this is what it means to fluff up. I'm trying to make it nice and fluffy again. Fluffy, right? Okay, so that's a good phrasal verb for you. To fluff something up means to make it fluffy again if it sort of lost a little bit of its fluffiness. Okay, so pillows can be fluffy. Also clouds. Think about clouds. Clouds in the sky. Those are nice and fluffy, right? We're sort of talking about the composition of the cloud, right? Actually, if we think about what is a cloud made of? A cloud is just water, right? So actually, it doesn't really have much of a composition, but it looks like it's like cotton in the sky, right? So a cloud could be fluffy. Also, whipped cream can be fluffy. Have you ever, if you make, for example, if you make whipped cream at home, then you use the beaters, right? And you beat the cream until it's nice and fluffy. Or if you buy it in the cans, right, where the cream is pressurized inside, and then when you sort of squirt the cream out of the canister, then it's really fluffy. Now we can also use the word fluff in a more figurative way to describe someone's words as not serious. Not serious. If someone says something that we don't believe, then we could say that it's just fluff. It's just fluff. For example, imagine if Justin Trudeau said, "I care about Alberta's workers. I really care about Alberta." Right? We could say that's just fluff. It's just fluff because everybody knows Justin Trudeau hates Alberta, right? So if he says something like, I promise to help Alberta's workers, we know it's not serious, right? He's not going to do it. It's just fluff. It's just fluff. Sometimes people say things like politicians, especially. Politicians just say fluff all the time. Everything they say is just fluff. So we could say politicians are always just talking fluff, fluff. Now let's take a look at the next root word, fur. Fur. Okay, what is fur? Well, fur is the hair of some animals. Right? For some animals, we don't use hair, we say fur. For example, rabbits. Right? Rabbits don't have hair. Rabbits have fur. Although there's a kind of rabbit called a hare. A hare. But that's spelled H-A-R-E, not H-A-I-R. So you could say the hare doesn't have hair. It has fur. Right? Hares don't have hair. Hares have fur. So you can't say the hairy hare because hares don't have hair. Hares have fur. Man, English is a bit crazy sometimes. So when we talk about fur, we're talking about the external feeling or appearance of something. Right? So if we say this is furry, we're talking about the way it feels on the outside and sort of the way it looks. We're not talking about the internal composition of it. Remember when we talked about the word fluffy, right? This pillow is fluffy. We're talking about sort of the composition, what it's made of, right? When we're talking about a cloud being fluffy, we're sort of talking about the substance of the cloud. Whereas with the word furry, we're talking about the outside of it. So if we use the word furry to describe an animal, we're talking about what it looks like and what it sort of feels like on the outside. Okay, so I would say that's the difference between furry and fluffy. Now, what about fuzzy? What about fuzz? What is fuzz? Fuzz, what is it? Well, when we talk about fuzz, we're talking about sort of the fibers of something or the hair of something. For example, take a look at this scouring pad. Okay, this green thing here is called a scouring pad or a scrubby. You could call this a green scrubby. And this yellow part here is the sponge, right? It's a sponge. Now, if you take a look at this green stuff, what is it? I don't know what it is, but it's sort of fibrous, right? Look at those fibers inside. So I would say this is like, it's fuzzy. I would describe that stuff as fuzz. I wouldn't say it's furry, and I wouldn't say it's fluffy. I would say it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy. Okay, so we're talking about the small like hairs or fiber. And now this side is not fuzzy, right? This side would be, you could describe it as fluffy because it's light, right? It's very light and it's soft. It's soft, but it's not furry, right? To be furry, it needs to be more like this, right? You could describe this as furry, but not this. This isn't furry. This is fluffy. This is fuzzy, and this is furry, fluffy, or fuzzy. So it's a bit confusing, isn't it? But can you see the subtle differences? So sometimes in English, words are almost perfect synonyms. You know, you can use them sort of interchangeably in many situations, but then there are some situations where the differences become more important. So for this, I would say this is not furry, or it's not fluffy. This is fuzzy. This side is fluffy. Now we can also use the word fuzzy to talk about something that is a bit blurry. Like if you can't see something properly, you could say it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy. For example, if you're watching TV and the quality is really bad, you're not getting good reception to your TV. You know, those white and black sort of spots on your TV. If you don't get good reception on your TV, then you could say it's fuzzy. The TV is fuzzy. The picture quality is fuzzy. So we could also use the word fuzzy to talk about audio quality. You know, if you can't hear something right, then it's a bit fuzzy. For example, if you bought some new headphones, and if the quality isn't clear, if you can't hear the audio clearly, then you could say these headphones are a bit fuzzy. I can't hear it clearly. It's just a bit fuzzy, right? Or if back to eyesight, right? If you wear glasses and you take off your glasses, then the world becomes fuzzy. You could say everything looks fuzzy. I need my glasses. Where are my glasses? Oh, there we go. Now I can see clearly again. Okay, so that's another example of fuzzy. Now, obviously, with those, if we're talking about eyesight and hear, like audio quality, then we couldn't use the word furry, or we couldn't use the word fluffy. Then fuzzy, we have to use the word fuzzy. It's a loud plane flying over my condo. Every single video, I'm sure here in Chiang Mai, every single video is going to be ruined by planes. But thanks for bearing with me, and I hope the planes don't bother you too much. They always distract me. When I hear a loud noise, I always get a bit distracted. So, what's the fourth word? Remember? Okay, so now we've taken a look at fluffy, fuzzy, and furry. So what's the fourth F word? Well, the fourth word is frizzy. Frizzy. Do you know what frizz means? Well, when we use the word frizz, most of the time we're talking about hair. Okay, if a person's hair is frizzy, that sort of means it's how would you describe it? It's tangled into a ball. It's sort of tangled into a ball. So it's almost like curly, but it's a bit more tangled. Now, some people have naturally frizzy hair. Like if you go to parts of Africa, you'll see people with it's pretty cool. It's like it's naturally frizzy, right? Small balls of hair that are just naturally that way. Now, my hair is not frizzy. My hair is the opposite of frizzy. It's just straight, right? My hair, I don't think it's possible for my hair to be frizzy. But some people, they want frizzy hair, and some people have frizzy hair, but they don't want frizzy hair. So let me know down in the comments, do you have frizzy hair? Do you want frizzy hair, or do you not want frizzy hair? I think it looks great on some people. There's a screaming baby outside my condo. Man, I'm just getting bombarded by distractions, planes, screaming babies. Boy, I'll just try to make it through this lesson. I'm almost finished. So when we're talking about frizz, we're talking about hair, or you could probably use the word frizz to talk about like a a cord or a rope or something. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This USB cable. Right. This is a USB-C to micro USB cable. Okay. So imagine if we took some scissors and we cut this cable. Then the ends would be sort of frayed. Right. Hey, there's another F word, frayed. And you could probably describe that as frizzy too. So if you cut a cable or a rope or something, you could probably describe that as frizzy. But usually we use the word frizzy to talk about hair. Okay, so there you have it. There you have fluffy, frizzy, fuzzy, furry. Man, all those words are so similar. But like I said, in some situations, you can use those words sort of interchangeably. You can choose, right? You can choose if you want to describe this as fluffy, furry, fuzzy. But in some situations, it's important to know the differences. Yeah, what other? Let me just think of another example. Now, a lot of people name their cat Fluffy. Fluffy is a common name for a cat. A lot of kids name their cat Fluffy. So if you're looking for some name ideas for your cat, you could consider the name Fluffy, right? You could also describe a cat as furry or fuzzy. You could say the cat actually, maybe fuzzy wouldn't be the best. Probably furry and fluffy would be the best ones there. But like I said, you could probably get away with the word fuzzy. Now, what about my beard? Look at this. You could say my beard is fuzzy. It's fuzzy. Or you could probably say furry. If a person is hairy, you could say they're furry. You could say my arms are a bit furry, but not fluffy, right? You couldn't describe this as fluffy. Fluffy sometimes, when we're talking about a person or an animal, it almost has the idea of being a bit fat, right? If you describe a cat as fluffy, in my mind, it almost has the idea of being a fat cat. So you can see how sometimes two words could be good and the third one doesn't work. Sometimes all three would be fine. Sometimes one is fine and the other two are a bit weird, right? Like this example, right? This scouring pad. The only word that really works is fuzzy. You can't say furry, you can't say fluffy. For this, you could say fluffy, but not fuzzy, not furry. For this, you could use all three. So you can see it's confusing. That's a great question, Thank you for always asking me great questions. Thank you for always leaving great comments down below my videos. And thank you also for smashing like on all my videos. I really appreciate it. Hey, I hope you guys are having a great day. And I hope I did a decent job explaining the difference between furry, fluffy, and fuzzy. Hey, maybe you want to take a few minutes to fluff up your pillows a little bit around your house. That might help you remember this vocabulary a little bit better. But anyway, hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.